What is good, bro? Brody Broski, my slime, my dog, my G, my home slice, my bro, my brother. I don't even know what else I can say. But here's a video on journaling. This is extremely important, and this is what will actually make you learn in trading. This is the greatest thing that I've started. I was always hesitant on it, bro. When I started trading, when I was just, beginning to trade, I kind of saw the potential of it. All I saw it as I put a trade, I make money, I go on with my day. Or you put on a trade, you lose, you make some more trades, and then you try to make that day green. That is not how it works. And I thought, like, people did tell me to journal. I was watching TJR's boot camp. He was telling me to journal. He was talking about journaling in there. Then I was watching Johnny Options, if you know that guy. Extremely great guy, bro. That's that was pretty much my mentor, and that was the one I learned the most from. He's the one that actually like made me do this stuff that will actually progress you. And the number one thing is journaling, bro. It it actually makes you learn about your trades, about why you took it, why you lost, and the most important is why you won. Why you won the trade. If you won a trade, you must journal it. If you lost a trade, you must journal it. If you didn't take a trade that day, you must journal why not. This Friday I didn't. I didn't journal. I didn't take a trade, but I'm going to after this video. So like, I got to do it myself as well. So as you can see, I have these questions right here. Hopefully I'm recording this screen, bro, because I recorded a video and I was recording my other monitor and I wasn't doing anything on it. But but here are the questions that I kind of have for every trade that I take. And I don't really answer them, like all of them anymore, because I just know and I put my thoughts just in kind of these step by step ones. But here are the questions, you can just screenshot them. These are the ones you can have or just make your own. But it generally should be like what you took, why you took it, why did you place the trade, what confluences did you use, what was your bias, where did you take your take profit and stop loss, and why. How did you feel? Your feelings are very important when you're in that trade, or when you're in that trade, because imagine if you won a trade but you closed the trade halfway to your take profit. What did you feel in that moment? If you felt greed, if you felt fear, not greedy, because greed you'd want more. If you felt fear, for example, that it's gonna reverse, why? You sold early, but then it did end up going to your take profit, and then you felt FOMO. Oh, why didn't I just hold? You have to journal all of that to know the exact feelings you're feeling and why you're feeling them, so you can eliminate them. What could you have done differently to maximize profit or minimize that loss? Honestly, I think this is not a good question. I should remove it because I mean, no, because it could be a good question. Because what could you have differently to maximize profit? Again, if you sold early, and why? Again, you could have just held all the way to you take profit. You would have made more money. Obviously you don't want to focus on the money, but that's just kind of a question. Honestly, yeah, I don't think this is a as good of a question. I made these like a while ago. Well, for this one, for minimize that loss is, what if you held through your stop loss? Like it went to your stop loss, but you didn't sell. Why? So you could have just sold, but then it kept going. So you would have minimized that loss. Honestly, I don't think you should have this one. But what did you do? Did you do wrong and could have done better? These are kind of like the same questions that I'm asking. Like you could have just, what you did, what you did right. If you answered, if you were patient, you know, you could say, if you were waiting for a trade and you were very patient, let's say like price is going like, oh, it's kind of your setup, but no, you want this for extra confirmation, and it actually did happen, and you entered. You could say, oh, I actually waited, and that retracement gave me a better risk to reward, so it was a more profit, less risk. What do you regret? These are usually these I answer these a lot when I just began journaling because it was in the beginning, and these are the kind of things that I wrote. Like when I write in red is when I put these in my rules, and that is what I answer. Like I regret, like I don't know, what could you say? Let's say you overtrade or you full port and you just blow your account. Do you regret that? Duh. So never do it again, bro. Now let me see if I say regret. Where I say it. Yeah, or like some stuff like that. Regret taking this trade because of FOMO, because you see a big up move up or down. So those are the kind of things that you write. Let's see. What will you do differently or the same next time? So you kind of learn. You say what your mistake was or what the things that you did right were, and you write them down and say, okay, next time I will not do this, and I will do this. And what was the lesson? You can tell me what you like, you can journal, but you have to tell yourself what you actually learned, like what the actual outcome of journaling. If you just write, oh, I took this, I lost, it doesn't do absolutely anything to you. You have to learn and figure out the why behind every trade. Why did you take it? Why did you lose? You knew this was gonna happen. You still took it. You did lost. Okay, so next time I will not take this type of trade. Like, does that make sense? You have to really learn why you took it, why you took certain trades. If you didn't, why didn't you take trades? What was your bias? Was your bias clear? That's another question that I can add. Was your bias clear? Because when, where is this? Daily right here. This is the daily chart. So right here, I was unclear about my bias in this day because this could just be a sweep and it will go lower, or we could go higher, and I lost these 2 days because I did my bias wasn't as clear. So I put that in my rules: do not trade if your bias isn't absolutely clear. That was literally a few days ago. It was Monday and Tuesday. I lost 2 trades, or I lost those 2 days because my bias was clear. We were in a weekly fair value gap right here on ES. We were kind of breaking structure, but it also could just be a sweep. So it was uncertain, and I didn't know what my bias was. I didn't know if I wanted to see shorts or longs that day, so I lost. And then I just put that in my rules. I will never take a trade again if I don't have an absolutely clear bias. And these last days, I had a pretty clear bias. This one, I think I took two L's, 2 dubs on the week, made 500. And these 2 days, bullish bias, long. This day, bullish bias, long. So you really, really have to learn why, and figure out your mistakes and make sure you never repeat them again, because it is this rinse and repeat process in trading where the first like few months or a year you figure out your strategy, what you're kind of doing, and you have to figure out your mistakes, right? Because there will be certain mistakes that you will keep making if you don't journal and that you don't know about. So let's say you keep making the same mistake, you keep losing, and you don't journal, you're gonna keep making it. Once you go through this process of answering and really breaking down your thoughts and your why you lost, that's that mistake, why you doing it, and when you tell yourself, that you're never going to do again? Like, I really think this question, this one right here, you really have to tell yourself, okay, I will not do this again. So when you're in the market, price is going, right? Price is going, and let's say your mistake was not waiting for a break of structure, like a price was it just moved up, and then you try to take a long because it was like in this random fair value 1 minute fair value gap, and you try to take a long without a break of structure. It's not really within your strategy, but this is like a very big candle, and then it just continues the trend, and stops you out. So you didn't really, what, if you don't journal, what you're gonna do is just, okay, I lost, let me revenge trade, let me full port, you blow your account. But when you're actually like have thought behind your trade, you're like, okay, wait, so what I did, I did have a bullish bias, but I there was a 1 minute downtrend. Yes, there was this fair value gap, but then there was also this inverse fair value gap right here. That was kind of why I took it, but then we didn't break structure. But then there was also this inverse fair value gap that also got like didn't really hold at all. So you really have to like analyze and and break down, right? Break down all these mistakes. So you in your journal, then you write, okay, April or like what, May 3rd. May 3rd, 2025, evaluation account. This is what I do. I head them, bold them. This is what you can do as well. It makes like opening this page is very, very slow because there's just like, imagine this is all these are just 1 day of trading, each one. And each day has like this much information in it. So this is what I do. I do this 1L on the day. Took a long on NQ. Let's say lost 150 or something like that. You can also do this, so you can actually figure out your win rate, your average like loss per trade, one win per trade. I placed this trade because I had a bullish bias. We tapped into a, let's say like a 5 minute gap, and there was a 1 minute inversion. And like, to be what's it called, to be clear, I'm not saying like this wouldn't have worked. I'm just giving a random example, right? Just a random example. But my mistake was, or let's actually like go by each question. 1 minute inversion to the upside. It's so slow, bro, because there's so many just words on here. What did I just do, bro? To the upside. I placed my TP at, let's say you put it at daily high. Let's say market open was right here. This was the daily high, or like the previous, or like a pre-market high. Let's say it was a pre-market high. Put it at a pre-market high. Stop loss below the 5 minute, gap, because let's say you write down oh, I put it my stop loss here because it could have went a little bit deeper into the 5 minute, so then reverse to the upside to give price more room to breathe. Okay, what was the outcome? Did you get stopped? Yes. Why? You write down why I got stopped, because there was no break of structure. So the trend was still bearish. There was no confirmation that we were going to the upside. How did you feel when you placed this trade? I felt iffy because it was a random trade, or let's say let's say it was like over here and you wanted to sell early, but then it was still in the 5 minute and your stop loss, you have to hold to your stop loss, right? Because there was still this 5 minute in your kind of mind when you were placing this trade, price could have still respected this gap, went just a little bit deeper and reversed. So let's say price immediate, I don't know how to spell this word, bro. Immediately started going to my stop loss and I wanted to sell early, but I held all the way to the stop loss because price could have still respected the 5 minute and reversed in my direction. So once you do that, you're like, okay, wait, that's what I did right. And let's say you're honestly proud that you held all the way to your stop loss, all the way to my stop loss, and I actually sold on my stop loss. I'm proud that I held all the way to my stop loss and I sold, or I exited the position once it hit my stop loss. So you can write that, okay, that's a very big step for some traders, is actually sticking to their stop loss. And you just kind of go through all of these. I regret not waiting for a break of structure. You really have to drill it down. How many times did you write, look, I didn't wait for a break of structure. Second time, break of structure, I didn't wait. And you're really drilling it down, so next time you know that for next time, bro, why did I say for next time? You know that for next, okay, so you know that for next time, you'd want to wait a break of structure and then a pullback, and that's when you actually take it, because now it's a lot more confirmation to the upside. And now your stop loss can be just below this move, or if there's a retracement to like a fair value gap, you can put your stop loss there. See, so that's for next time. You know that you wanna wait for that break of structure. Oh my god. I regret not waiting for a break of structure. What could you have differently to maximize profit or minimize a loss? Not much, really, because you held to your stop loss. I'm gonna just actually remove this question, but this is not a good question. Did you make any mistakes that you will never repeat again? Look, another time, and that's the type of thing you tell yourself, right? You put in your rules. I will never not wait for a, and you put it in your rules. I literally highlighted it in red. And what you can put in your rules is always wait for a bus. Break a structure. That's what you can put in your rules. What was our other question? Did you make any mistakes you will never repeat again? Again, this one. What did you do right? Let's say you already wrote that. You're proud that you stuck to your stop loss. So that's what you did right. That's a very big step that you really have to continue doing. Let's say you also, like, you had the feeling of selling, but you know that you have placed a stop loss and you stick to it, so you stuck to it. So you can also say, what I did right was I also was I also wanted to sell early because price was going to my stop loss, but I held all the way because before placing the trade, I accepted the risk. Could write something like that. What will you do differently or next time, or the same next time? Next time, I will wait for a break of structure and I will always hold to my full TP or full stop loss. What was the lesson for today, right? So you look how many times you wrote the same thing and it's really just drilling in your head. You literally put it in your rules. You wrote, I regret not waiting for a break of structure. What next time? I will wait for a break of structure. I got stopped because there was no break of structure. Look how many times you wrote it. And imagine you do that, you don't wait for a break of structure again, you journal it again, you will never repeat it again. So next time, yeah, you already write down my lesson. My biggest lesson for today was not waiting for a break of structure. I will always wait for a break of structure because that is in my rules. Again, I'm not saying that you like this isn't like about actual strategy. You don't have to wait for like I don't want to mess you up or you have your own strategy. This is just an example. I'm not saying that you have to wait for a break of structure, nor am I saying that you should or shouldn't. I'm not. This isn't about the break of structure. This is about journaling. That's what I'm trying to drill in your head. Was your bias clear? You could put that like somewhere earlier in the questions. And look, you do this every single day. Look how much data you have if you also answer this question right here. And you do this every single day for months and months, bro. You will be actually unstoppable, bro. Look, every single day, bro. Every single day. After a year. I think I did. Look, I'm gonna do this every single day. Imagine 251 days straight. You journal, you trade, you backtest, study, analyze, reread, backtest, everything. I said backtest twice. It's like I always get so much motivation after a winning trade. Yeah, look here, I didn't wait for a break of structure because there was liquidity inverse fair value gap and then the pullback to this one. So like I'm not talking about actual break of structure or nor I'm saying like you should or shouldn't use it. But it's just about actual back testing, bro. Imagine you do this for 251 days. You actually learn. Absolutely no way. I'm not saying you're gonna become profitable or won't make money, but there's absolutely no way you're gonna have bad mindset and this bad what's it called, like this mindset of an unprofitable trader. You're gonna actually learn, and once you like look, once you write this a few times, let's say you make that mistake a few times, you will never repeat it again after 251 days. Let me You will just curate your rules. You'll just have your rules that you simply read every single morning. Look, I literally put that. Every single morning you read it and you never make the same mistakes. You're gonna become unstoppable. You know, you're gonna see, okay, it's going up, okay, there's no break of structure. Oh, you know, my old version would have taken this. Oh, look, it's not, it didn't break structure. I would have taken a long, my old version of me would have taken a long because there was a fair value gap right here. It's swept over here. But I know that I should wait break of structure, then it stops you out. Okay, you know what? I didn't take that and I'm glad I didn't. You know, there's some other mistake is your bias is, let's say your bias is bearish, but there's like a long setup, like a perfect long setup right here, break of structure, pullback after liquidity, or let's say yeah, you're bearish. Let's say there's liquidity, there's a bro, wait. So let's say there's liquidity staking. Let's say there's a break of structure. Let's say there's like some structure, then it breaks, pulls back. Your old version would have taken this just because it's just a good bullish setup, but your bias is bearish, so you don't take it, and it might go in your direction at first, but then it reverses. It's such a psychological game, bro. There's so much psychology in trading that you don't know about. and that you have to figure out through actually journaling, bro. This is gonna change your life. Change your life, bro. Look at this. This was, wait. Yeah, and also like so yeah, this is the trade. I remember this is where I sold early. You can see it right here. Why did I sell early over there? Because I felt like fear that it's gonna keep going all the way to my stop loss. And my full take profit was probably like 700, 800. This was only 400. So what did I write? Bro, I need a piss. I said I will set and forget, and I FOMO exited. I wrote that I FOMO exited. I might have not like answered all those questions, but where is did I say why I exited or no? Yeah, but like, I still wrote that. Okay, it was FOMO, and I will never do that again. From now on, I will set and forget. I did all the charting prior to trade, so I will set and forget. I don't set and forget. I just simply now hold all the way to my TP, set stop to break even, and once it's like a lot further. Oh fuck! How do I close this shit, bro? I need a piss. So this was a long ass video, Yapathon. If you're watching this, you're gonna become profitable, bro. Trust me, you're gonna become profitable. It doesn't matter how long it takes. If it's 6 years or 6 months, you're gonna do this stuff. This is life changing, bro. Trust Jesus. Talk to him every single day. Pray to him. Build a relationship with him, and you're gonna become genuinely unstoppable, bro. Genuinely unstoppable. You got this, okay, bro? I have free help in my description. It's my free community. Ask me any questions inside. I'm actually uploading every. Bro, I really need a piss. I'm uploading recaps. I'm uploading psychology videos, faith, helping out people. My strategy is also in there. It's in the description completely for free. Join now, and I will catch you the next one. Brody, broski, bro, slime, home slice, my G, my dog.